DBZ has been on my mind recently because I was born in the mid-90s and I've been rewatching clips on YouTube, and I think the show has more on its mind about its characters than people give it credit for. I don't care for Super at all, really, because it smooths over everyone's motives and characterizations, and this show is pretty stupid, but I think Toriyama had some solid character writing at times in the original, and I really think it shines with the way Goku and Vegeta contrast each other. Specifically, Goku's strength is that he has no pride. A lot of ink has been spilled over who won the fight between them in the Saiyan saga. If we're looking at this via who goes down in a one-on-one, knockdown dragout, it's obvious Goku lost this fight. But look at how these two behave in the aftermath. Vegeta is not acting like a guy who won here. He might have proven he's stronger than the Z Fighters, but he still sulked off without even a tail between his legs. He's bloodied and bruised, with no Dragon Balls, no Nappa, and the Earth not blown into dust. He has nothing he wanted from this engagement, and nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, Goku is just as broken and bloodied, but he's got a smile on his face because losing a fight doesn't bother him. He won the objective. The Earth is safe. His son is alive. Some of his friends are even alive. And moreover, he's feeling good enough that he lets Vegeta go. This is what I mean about Goku not having pride. Across the whole series, Goku rarely gets frustrated or upset long term. He can take loss in stride, and when he doesn't grasp a new concept, he's always willing to change his thinking and adapt. Vengeance is also never a motive. Meanwhile, Vegeta is always insanely bitter and vengeful over just about every slight and defeat. He can learn lessons. One great one is when he mentions to Goku about Jace that Jace doesn't need to be stronger than you to beat you. This was a lesson he learned from the Z Warriors very well, who managed to overcome and defeat him through pluck and persistence. And he took it to heart in how he managed to get one over on the Frieza Force for most of the Namek saga. But he's always a bit slower to adapt, and most key, he is afraid to lose. Take a look at how he reacts to the arrival of the Ginyu Force. This dude is terrified, and this gets worse when Frieza arrives. He's afraid of stronger enemies because of his pride. He knows he isn't good enough, and if it's put to the test, he knows his bravado will be shattered. This is never the case for Goku. Goku is never afraid to engage in a losing fight, and he never gets frustrated or embarrassed to lose. He might feel outrage if innocents are hurt, but that's never about himself. When the stakes are low, Goku is happy to find people stronger than himself, because challenge is why he lives. He doesn't really want to sit at the top of the tower. That's boring to him. Losing is fine because it means he has something new to achieve, and new ways to improve himself. This is what his former enemies take away from him. Self-improvement. Piccolo, Yamcha, Tien, they all want to become better people in one way or another after seeing Goku's example. But as seen with Trunks late in the Android saga, Vegeta holds people back when they spend too much time with him. If Trunks had gone to fight Semi-Perfect Cell alone, it wouldn't have even mattered if Krillin dropped the ball and let 18 live. And you gotta ask yourself, could Vegeta have handled any of the training Goku went over in Dragon Ball? No. This motherfucker would have never survived King Kai's training. He would have never let Popo embarrass him. He would have never done manual labor for Master Roshi. None of these lessons would have stuck with him. He's only where he is because he was born stronger. I think a scene that really sells this is the end of the Namek saga, where he declares himself the most powerful man alive now that Goku and Frieza are supposedly dead. To show off his newfound supremacy, he boldly beats the shit out of a 6-year-old until Piccolo steps in. Now, we don't really know how Vegeta and Piccolo stack up right here. All we really know is they both lose to Frieza, which is a pretty vague watermark. But I'd be willing to say that Vegeta has pretty good odds of beating Piccolo, all things taken into account. They're equals at the very least. But despite loudly claiming to himself that he is the strongest guy alive a second ago, he backs down instantly. Because he's afraid he might lose. And he just cannot handle that, especially after being so thoroughly deconstructed by Frieza. He just doesn't have it in him to risk being a loser. His pride just can't handle that again. This is why Vegeta's arc is not really complete at the end of the Cell saga. He's embarrassed that he wasn't at the level of Gohan, Goku, or Cell. He can sometimes crawl his way to Goku's level, but never when it matters, and he's always doing it in the most hard, difficult, and tortured way possible. He's always the last to cross the finish line, one way or another, and he's always still that bitter and miserable guy he's always been at heart. He can never be happy until he proves he's better than Goku, and when he proves he's as strong as Goku, he finds it doesn't really make him any happier. And that isn't because Goku secretly had Super Saiyan 3 in his back pocket the whole time, but because Vegeta finally realized that none of this was ever about winning for Goku. Goku is the sort of guy who would never ice an ally for not keeping up. He doesn't view power as a metric for worth. He doesn't scold people for falling behind. He's always willing to show mercy. He never scolds Gohan for getting out of shape, and despite all the bad dad jokes, he has no real animosity for Gohan for having his own interests, or towards Krillin, or Tien, or anyone else. It's only at the very end of the series, while Goku is literally biting Boo like a total junkyard dog, does Vegeta finally piece it together and really let it all go. He admits that Kakarot is the better man, and in the process he finally learns the lesson Goku learned from Jackie Chun decades ago. There is always someone better.